BRG Podcast, Ep-17 for April 18th, 2016. I am your host, Warp Jester. Welcome back. This episode is going to be a wonderful and illustrious Turbo Edition, partly due to circumstances beyond my control. I was actually in a bike accident. I managed to crash my motorcycle and came away with it with some nasty bumps and bruises and a broken leg. So we're going to make this really easy today. I apologize. But I do want to hit some highlights tonight, so let's go ahead and jump into the news. Okay, so I want to start things off today. Instead of doing the usual jokes about people being laid off and whatnot, actually it's about Codemasters is going to be welcoming the Evolution Studios into the fold. This is kind of a follow-up to previous layoff note we had. Evolution Studios was let go due to underperformance, whatever you want to call it, and Codemasters has picked them up. So their team will be coming in, part and parcel to the whole fold here. Most of the staff, including the CEO, founder, Mick Hocking, will be joining Codemasters, and it'll be a separate team working together with the same offices to produce new IP. So good on them for that. Certainly look forward to that. There's a good article here that tells you all the details. I'm not going to go into details because it's going to be a quick one, but nevertheless, check them out. Moving on to other news. It's going to become a funny one here. This is about Rust, citing gender permanality based on the Steam ID. Now, if anybody has followed the news, you'll know that Rust is a game that is an interesting survival game, but it's made waves a couple of times, actually, with some choices it's made regarding the character play itself. Rust, let me find the details here. First came out in 2015, and it changed your character's avatar's race, basically skin color, based on your Steam ID. You had no control over this. That tended to ruffle a few feathers. They then went on later to actually adjust penis size based on the Steam ID. Again, no choice in this. I heard rumor that actually changed the hitbox, but I don't know. But in any case, that tended to ruffle feathers again. And then the most recent one that's come up now that's become a major interest is gender. So now you're going to have a permanently assigned gender based off your Steam ID, supposedly some other little variants as well. But there is no wiggle room in this. What you are is what you are in the game. There has, of course, been people being rather vocal about it, not happy about it. The makers of it, Face Punch Studios, have basically said, this is a game that you didn't have any choice whatsoever. We were all just standardized white guys, if you will, and now you still don't have any choice about it. We're just doing some variation and variant. There's a lot of people who feel like, hey, if your engine has the ability to do this, why don't you let us customize it? Their take on it is that's just not what we're doing here. So, I don't know. I personally don't have a real big skew about it. It's not a big deal to me, but there you have it. So people have definitely been flustered by that, to say the least. Again, there's a really in-depth article, interview, and reply back about the topics. I definitely encourage you to check out the article. Links will be in the show notes. But yeah, it's interesting because it seems like when you give people the potential for decision without having the decision, it tends to make people very upset and very annoyed. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, this is my son here, by the way, guys. Thank you, Bubba. I'm recording right now, so I'll say hi to everybody.
Hi.
All right, I have a little bit. Thank you, Bubba. Anyways, guys, moving on. Going into a little bit of the tech tidbits here. Tech tidbits-wise, this is actually pretty neat. LG reveals a super thin TV that sticks to the wall with magnets. This is actually a concept prototype they've just released. It's a 55-inch OLED TV that weighs about 4 pounds and is 0.97 millimeters thick. For all of you standard people, that's about 3/100th of an inch thick. I'm impressed by this, and this is definitely something that'll be really interesting to see in technology and later. Just the fact that you can have a TV that could potentially almost roll up, if you will, and then stick to a wall somewhere. So really interesting. Not much in the way of details on this because this is a concept prototype that's been announced. But I'm sure if you do a little search around, you can find a little more details about it. But I would be very, very interested to see where that comes from. On the media bites front, this is one I'd love to go into in depth, and unfortunately I don't have the time to, but the RIAA says YouTube is running a DMCA protection racket. Ugh, God. I could spend an hour on this, but First of all, again, for people who don't know, RIAA is basically digital music. I don't know what to call them, advocacy group or what, but basically the people that, well, they're assholes, but no, they're out there to make sure that people aren't pirating music, and basically they're people that try to make sure people pay for the music, which I absolutely endorse. You guys shouldn't pirate. I know everybody to some extent does, but you really shouldn't. Artists work hard to create content, and it's by fair use and right that they fair use and right that they should get compensation for it if they so choose to. So, to that point, I agree with him on that. Now, the problem here is, to give you a little backstory, is first of all, the contract that YouTube has with Universal has come up for negotiation, and following very shortly behind that is going to be Sony and Warner. So this is kind of a jumping off point for basically them trying to push YouTube into better rates for their music. I don't know what the details are on the way of those rates and whatnot, but they're basically saying that YouTube doesn't pay enough and that they should get more. Now, that's fine, and that's part of business negotiation. The issue I'm having is that RA starts going off into tangents that are just unreasonable and unrealistic. One of the things I talk about is that there's no way for them to have a takedown and stay down notice, meaning that they should be able to submit a takedown notice once and have that music stay off YouTube, period. Okay, sir, first of all, you have to know how the internet works, guys. And the reason the DMCA is out there, this is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. One of those provisions out there is the fact that YouTube isn't putting this content up. We as individuals are on this platform on YouTube. So it's basically us committing the violation, if you will. YouTube has a bunch of automation in place, which sometimes bites us in the arse. But it's meant to help automatically flag. There's so much content. There's so many hours of content literally per second that comes out on YouTube that's no physical person can keep up with that. And I respect that. But these automated systems do pop up that you try to help out. The problem is, in the RIAA, I'm not really understanding where they're coming from with this whole takedown, stay down notice, because they're saying that if one person puts a music video up on their channel and there's a takedown notice for that channel, that somehow should magically keep me from putting something up? That kind of in place with the automated system thing. I don't know. I think I have no love for the RIAA. I'll be honest with you. They're racketeers in a lot of ways. They take a very heavy-handed towards thing, a very heavy-handed approach towards things, and they end up pissing off more people than anything else. And in the end, I think the biggest problem we're having is that trying to find a balance between fair use and the actual rights of the music tends to get trampled on the process. I don't know what they're expecting to get out of this, but I think they're just trying to use a heavy-handed mallet to try to push YouTube into the higher payouts for the use of the music. We'll see what goes from there. There's a very in-depth article here on Torrent Freak. I definitely recommend you read it. It's got a very interesting bit of information about that. Like I said, I look at it with a skewed eye. I'm not very happy about it because it's just more of this crap going on. In the end, I don't create music myself. I have a lot of good friends that make music on the amateur realm. But in the end, what I've seen a lot of times is you look at how much money things like YouTube and Pandora and Spotify, all these companies are shelling out for the rights to use the music. And then you talk about how the artists aren't getting paid diddly squat. Well, if you pay somebody $1 and you as the artist who created that song get a penny out of it, I don't think it's the person paying the money originally that's the problem here. I think you may want to talk to these record labels because they're the people I think they're basically shysting you. Again, I'd love to have a much more in-depth conversation about this. I really would. Again, cannot stress this enough. Not fair to pirate, guys. Don't. It's not cool. But at the same time, having these systems in place help, and trying to sit there and put a heavy hand to everybody for even the thought or idea of using something, even if it's in the fair use realm, is not fair either. So we need to find some way to do it, but it's not gonna happen unless we all work together. And the RIAA really doesn't seem to want to work together with anybody. They want their way or the highway. So that's my take on it. It's my view. I apologize if anybody has an opposing view on it. I respect that. Moving on. Spend a little time on that. AMC Entertainment CEO open to allowing texting in theaters. This is an interesting concept, and basically what they're saying is the new CEO has been 4 months now, I guess. basically saying he's up to the idea of doing text messaging with in the theater. I'm not really sure how to go with this. I mean, I'm from an older crowd that, when you go to the theater, you don't want to be bothered. You want to have people with their phones laying up their face and being disruptive, and that's a big thing. Is you want things to be disruptive. That said, you're going out to a public place with a whole bunch of other people, so I'm not sure how to feel about this. But this is more engaging towards trying to adapt or what am I looking for? Be more susceptible or more friendly towards the younger generation. And one of the quotes they have in here that I find absolutely funny is that the CEO basically said to ask a young user to turn off the phone, not disrupt the movie, is akin to asking them to go ahead and chop off their arm at the elbow. I mean, we are all very attached to our phones. I get that. I guess there's a good potential here, and the potential I see is if you have movies, they're always looking for an angle in terms of making a movie-going experience more interesting, something you can't necessarily do at home per se. And one of those things might be having some type of interactivity with text messaging and the movie itself. That might be something. So I can see some potential in being there, and I would say at best that it might be a possibility that there'll be a rollout where there'll be select showings or select movies that will have this ability enabled. Who knows? The problem with that, of course, is they always look at you in the realm of if your phone's on, maybe you're recording the movie and, oh my God, you're a pirate. See last conversation. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, honestly. I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but I'll be very curious to see where that goes. So that's basic news for you. Again, it's going to be kind of a quick rundown. I'm sorry I have a lot of others. There are a bunch of other articles that didn't make it into the lineup today. You can go down to our show notes on the forums and check that out and kind of catch what we missed, so to speak. Birthdays. One birthday this week is going to be I'm the Nerds Guy. This is one of the guys on Bottle Rocket Gaming. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I haven't really talked to him, hasn't really posted much, but nevertheless, one of our Bottle Rocket members, so happy birthday to you. No events or anything going on. Again, I don't have time to really go into all the events and game releases. I apologize. Hopefully we'll catch them next week here. As always, if you guys have any thoughts, response, feedback, and so on, if you want to see what's coming up in the future in terms of host lineup, you always feel free to go over to theballergaming.com. And on the forums, we have a section for our podcast. You can see there all the show notes from past shows. I actually caught up on them. Yay. And you can see what's going on and catch all the notes we talked about in terms of news articles and whatnot. So definitely go on and check over there. I myself, my gaming channel is slowly coming back up. I've got a whole bunch of Rocket League rolling out, as well as the new World of Warships coming out. I am doing a shorter format of World of Warships. It's one game per episode. It's just a little bit easier for me for recording and for editing right now, and allows me to get a whole bunch of stuff queued up and lined up. Of course, some stuff is older content. I apologize again. It's just having the time to edit. Sometimes I get backlogged and don't have time for it. So you'll hear like Christmas references in Rocket League. Here it is in April. So, but definitely go over and check that out if you like. I always enjoy the feedback and fun. It's a hobby for me, and I really enjoy it. So I always appreciate people checking it out. Likewise, Bottle Rocket Gaming themselves, we are a big bunch of people that love to create content, love to do stuff, and we love doing it for you guys. So we always love feedback. If you want to know what's going on with us, definitely head over to Bottle Rocket Gaming. We have a lot of chatter that goes on. As you can see, we're very, very talkative. We've got a lot of new stuff coming up, a lot of new events coming up. Cards Against Humanity. We have our monthly jet stream, and so on. And those are a lot of fun. And definitely, if you join us, you're welcome to actually jump on and enjoy it for some of these things. We also have a lot of other events that will be coming down the pipe, so stay tuned for that. Also, of course, you can go over to BottleRocketGaming.com YouTube.com/BottleRocketGaming. We do have our YouTube channel where this is posted at, as well as updates for our weekly rundown for all the YouTubers that do YouTube videos. And, of course, those jet streams get posted up there as well. And, again, we'll have other content coming down the pipe there. So definitely check it out. I'd love to see more subscribers on that channel. Love to get us boosted up there. And I'm hoping in the future to bring on more guests from outside the Bottle Rocket realm, from other news and podcast groups, including people like Minus the Rumors. We have a few people on Sequel Syndrome, which is Ziploc Bob, and so on. So we're looking for more people. And for that matter, if you happen to do a podcast yourself and are interested in doing some collaborative work, please feel free to reach out and let us know. You can always reach me at Warp Jester pretty much anywhere. You can go to the Ball Rocket forums and hit me up there. You can hit me up on Twitter, Warp Jester MC. And I'll be happy to talk to you. So look forward to that. And of course, I always say this every time, guys, and I want to stress upon this. Every dollar helps us out a lot. We are a nonprofit group, not officially nonprofit, but all the money we put into it is a labor of love, and it's money that goes straight back out to benefit everybody who's a part of this group, from helping them out with getting games to hosting servers and so on. So if you're able to pitch in a few extra dollars, it really helps us out to encourage and promote the collaboration and the events that we do. So if you can spare $1, it's really appreciated. You can go through Patreon, which is a wonderful way to go. We do have a PayPal, which we have a button on our main page for as well. So definitely your realm and your choice on that. So again, guys, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry for the short, but the whole crashing bikes thing kind of makes you a little bit less than capable. So I apologize. But nevertheless, have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.